Hello, curious readers. Pim here, ready to tackle your funny bone with another whimsical waltz through the oddities of history. Today we're stepping into the past, quite literally, to explore one of the most bizarre epidemics ever recorded, the dancing plague of 1518. So lace up your dancing shoes and let's boogie. The feverish footwork begins. Our story kicks off in the sweltering summer of 1518 in the town of Strasbourg, then part of the Holy Roman Empire, now in modern-day France. It all started with a woman named Frau Trophäa, who suddenly and inexplicably began to dance in the streets. No music, no party, just Frau Trophäa getting her groove on like it was nobody's business. And she didn't stop. For days. A dance craze, or a dance curse? As the days wore on, more and more townsfolk joined in the involuntary jig. Within a week, dozens of people were caught up in the frenetic frenzy, and by the end of the month, the number had swelled to around 400. These weren't your typical dance enthusiasts. They were sweating, panting, and dropping from sheer exhaustion. It seemed as if the entire town had been cursed with an uncontrollable urge to dance. The medical response: more dancing? Now, medieval doctors were faced with quite a conundrum. What do you prescribe for people who can't stop dancing? Their diagnosis was a case of hot blood, and their treatment plan? More dancing. They believed that the afflicted needed to dance it out of their system. So the town hired musicians and even constructed a stage to facilitate the dancing. Talk about a prescription that's hard to swallow, or in this case, hard to shuffle through. Dance till you drop. Literally. Unsurprisingly, this plan backfired spectacularly. Instead of finding relief, the dancers found themselves in even worse shape. Many collapsed from sheer exhaustion. Some reportedly suffered heart attacks and strokes. The situation was spiraling out of control, and the townspeople were desperate for a solution. Possible explanations from Ergot to enigmas. So, what was behind the mysterious mania? Historians and scientists have proposed several theories over the years. Ergot poisoning. One popular theory is that dancers were suffering from ergotism, caused by consuming rye bread contaminated with a fungus that produces LSD-like effects. This could explain the hallucinations and compulsive movements. Psychogenic illness. Another theory suggests that the dancing plague was a case of mass hysteria or psychogenic illness triggered by stress and social pressures. The year 1518 was marked by famine, disease, and general misery, prime conditions for collective psychological phenomena. Religious frenzy. Some speculate that the dancers were experiencing a kind of religious ecstasy, believing themselves possessed or cursed by a saint, leaving them to dance in a desperate attempt to gain divine favor or absolution. The final bow. Eventually, the dancing plague fizzled out as mysteriously as it had begun. The town's authorities, perhaps realizing that more dancing wasn't the cure, took the remaining dancers to a shrine dedicated to Saint Vitus, the patron saint of dancers, in hopes of a divine intervention. Slowly the afflicted began to recover, and Strasbourg's streets returned to their usual non-dancing state. A footnote in history. The dancing plague of 1518 remains one of history's most peculiar moments, a baffling blend of the tragic and the comedic. It's a reminder of how the human body and mind can sometimes conspire to create the most unusual phenomena. So next time you feel like dancing, like nobody's watching, just be glad that you can stop when you want to. Until our next peculiar plunge, keep those toes tapping, but maybe not for days on end. Stay curious. Do you have an unusual piece of history for Pim to research? Email us your suggestions at beastlybanterblog@gmail.com.